So with this latest lockdown, I thought I'd put together this short video to show you how you actually can get a mortgage in this situation. We've been here before, we dealt with it last year, so we're pretty geared up for this. So I just want to talk through really the key three things that you need to think about. The first is something called automated valuation model, so what we call AVMs for short. The biggest issue we found in the first lockdown was simply getting surveyors out of properties. Now I read the government guidance and the property market remains open, so there wasn't any barrier to viewings or surveyors getting access to property that I could see. The caveat is if it's safe to do so. So that should be able to sort of happen in most situations, but even where that can't, this is where the AVMs come into play, because what banks have done, invested a hell of a lot of time and money and effort into doing online valuations. Now, all banks differ and the criteria differs, but what we put together is probably a market-leading database on what different banks are doing in different situations. So that's really going to be key over the next 6 weeks or so to make sure that we can actually get the mortgage approved, because without a survey happening, you simply can't get a mortgage. So it's a really crucial part of the process. That's probably going to be the biggest thing that we're going to have to deal with over the next few weeks. Second to that, so the next main point is really around access to products. We're very fortunate being a broker. We have unrivaled access to the market. We have many exclusive arrangements, and also what we can do is we can actually go back to your bank to find the best products for you with your bank, and they're often on better terms going through us. It seems very counterintuitive, but if you think about it on a practical level, it works, because going into a bank is probably not feasible right now, but even if you could, the onus of the advice all sits with the advisor. So banks are really happy to say, look, here's our products. As the advisor, you can say what's best. So even if you are sticking with your bank, please do talk to us, because we can probably get you better terms. The last point is probably the biggest one, is around lender process delays. This has been a big issue really coming into last year, and it's just going to be exacerbated further. As far as we're aware, the stamp duty deadline is going to be in place to the 31st of March. We're going to work on that basis until we hear otherwise. So if you put the two things together, and getting a valuation and getting a lender that moves quickly, that's really the key thing to think about. If I'm going to be blunt, pricing secondary. There's no point having the cheapest lender on the market if they can't get a survey, if they can't get an offer out in time for you to move. So it just doesn't work. So those three things we have to look at is the valuation, the products, and the speed of the lender. That's really the key things if you want to get a mortgage through lockdown. So that's what we'll be helping our clients with. And if you're stuck or just want to talk to us, please do. We'd be very happy to help. Just as a sort of side note, really, I mean, it does sort of really remind you the fragility of things. Everything is ultimately impermanent, and the future is never what you expect it to be. That's really been true over the last few years. So whatever the future throws at us, we want to be here for you. So please do contact us, and we'll do our very best to help.